has got some stories to tell us. Our bumper's running, we're recording, we're streaming. We will count it down to Studio 40 Alpha, starting now. Well, good evening. Welcome. This is PJNet.TV. I'm Coach Prasick, and I get to sit here and listen to some good stories along with you. And those good stories are brought to you by Dell Didway, who would normally had been here last night, but Dell's been kind of slacking off lately. You've been loafing around. I'm not sure what we have that's in your life worth talking about, but could we start with the Super Bowl?
That's one thing we can talk about. Yeah, we were in every time zone lately. So Sundays, that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday was no exception. So we hit them all.
When did you actually leave? Just run through the itinerary for your past 5 days. I mean, I don't know how you've kept up with where you're at.
Well, my wife Angie took me to the airport on Thursday because I had to fly into North Carolina. So I hopped a flight to had a layover in Chicago, and then I ended up in L.A., Los Angeles, Thursday night, Friday morning, and then was able to get over to the hotel, get a couple hours sleep, and then hop over to the credentialing center in Los Angeles, where we had to get in line to get our media passes, and met up with my friend John, who was we were covering the game together, and we met up with him, got our badges, and then headed over on a charter bus to UCLA for media day with the Bengals, and that was hot and kind of lengthy. And went back to the media center, back to the hotel, did my story, took about a 4-minute nap, and then we all headed over to Universal Studios for the night. They'd rented out that facility for the media. So we had that place for ourselves, food trucks everywhere, and headed back Saturday morning. We had Athletes in Action breakfast about 7 o'clock in the morning after being up most of the night at the park. And then that was a nice event. And headed back to the hotel for a little bit, and then rested up. And then the next day was the game, and we got down there pretty early to beat all the gazillion people. And then after the game, we had hand-to-hand combat getting a lift to LAX, and we caught a midnight flight and got in at 10 o'clock in the morning in North Carolina. And Andy picked me up at the airport. We did a book signing at 11, at 1 at 2, a radio interview at 4. We had dinner and listened to Joe Gibbs for a little bit, and then went to bed. And I think I slept about 11 hours. On Tuesday, we worked the booth for Endgame and came home. Got home about 11:30 last night. So,
other than
fun times.
Now, when you called me last night, you were driving, or you were traveling. You weren't driving, were you?
Yeah, we just got in the car. We just left the hotel in North Carolina.
But who was behind the wheel?
I was driving.
You were. Oh gosh, I wouldn't want to be a passenger in that scenario.
Nah, I was hyped up. I was good. So.
Okay. Well, hopefully you've had a little time to recover. Your take on the hospitality? It sounds like you were treated like royalty.
Typically, the media is always treated well. It's just the way we're dealing with a professional organization. The NFL is a professional organization. They treat us professionally, and so if we treat them professionally with respect, we get that treatment back. So, they take care of us. They have a nice place for us. They had nice hotels for us. They had shuttles for us everywhere. We didn't have to battle the traffic much, and they had meals for us. So they take care of you there pretty well, and it's nice to be appreciated by that, and be led into places to cover. So, that's kind of just the way it is. I mean, they take care of us. They always have. Every game we've gone to, we've always been treated well. And even in Cleveland, it was okay. So, and they treated us that one night to Universal. They had done that all week. I didn't get out there. I couldn't go out all week. So we got out there. Actually, on Friday was the best day because that was the first day that they were doing in-person interviews. The week, the
Hmm.
whole prior, they were all virtual. And I thought I could have stayed home and done that.
That's right.
And so there's really nothing to do for a writer out there to go to anything except some of the, I don't know, some of the publicized events where you
Hmm.
might see a celebrity, and who cares about that? So
Well, now you had to violate your conscience because you had sworn off Los Angeles as a destination for yourself.
it wasn't a destination for myself. It was a place I had to go. I would never pick it.
Over
I would never
conscientious
pick it.
objection.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, a free seat at the media table for the Super Bowl, yes,
Yeah.
but I would not pay to go out there. I would not pay to stay there. So
Yeah.
and go partake in that place.
They can
So,
patronize you. You're just not going to patronize them. That's fair enough.
no.
Well,
Well, I spent enough on concessions, so
yeah, I
or
didn't
not
actually
concession. I spent enough on two souvenirs. I'm sorry, souvenirs.
souvenirs. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
actually
what
watch the Super Bowl, but so I missed all the commercials. But I guess you did too.
yeah. We don't see the commercials. I mean, we can see we have monitors all around us, but we typically don't look at those. And I don't know of one commercial I saw because we just didn't.
Well,
We just don't think to. We just don't think to look at them.
a 30-second spot was $7 million,
Yeah,
and you didn't see them.
I didn't see them. We didn't see it. I mean, yeah, the monitors. I mean, they're all around us, and we're always talking. We're always going over what's going on. We never really look at the ads. I mean, I don't even know if they even played them. I don't know. I didn't see any of them.
Now, I believe that this is not Cincinnati's first appearance in a Super Bowl. Wasn't it back when
No.
Boomer Esiason was quarterbacking? That's a
31
lot.
years ago. Yeah, they played. This is the third appearance, and so it was really good. For a while, we really thought they were going to win. They had all the makings of it, had the feeling of it. Halfway through the fourth quarter, we were thinking, hey, they could really pull this out. So it was a close game back and forth. So it was a good game. I'm not a couple of questionable calls towards the end, and then one was really questionable. One was really not questionable; it was a bad call. It happens; it's part of the game. Bad calls are part of it.
And then
They
a close
called two
game.
back-
Yeah.
They called two back to back. Cincinnati had the lead. L.A. had the ball inside the 10, and it was third down. And linebacker makes a great. Bengals linebacker Logan Wilson makes a really good play, and he deflects the ball. They called holding, and it was not. And it was not holding. It just wasn't. And we looked at it a gazillion times. It wasn't holding. So that gives them first down, right? Two more first and goal at the 4.
Mm-hmm.
So on third down, pass interference in the end zone puts the ball at the 1 yard line. With
First down.
A minute. First down. So they had like 9 plays to go 8 yards. And so eventually they
Yeah.
eventually scored. Now that was a legitimate pass interference call.
Mm-hmm.
But the call before that was
Yeah.
not. Which
Holding.
would have.
Yeah, holding occurs on every play, Dale. I mean,
I know that, but the linebacker was making the play. He didn't have his arm locked around him at all. It was
Yeah.
we saw that it was wide open. It's a bad call, but
yeah.
it happens. Bad calls happen.
Well, it's I'm kind of mixed feelings about challenging calls, but it seems to me if you can challenge a call, you can challenge the fact that no call was made.
That was a judgment call. They can't challenge a judgment call. They can challenge a spot. They can challenge something with evidence.
Mm-hmm.
A judgment call, they cannot question that. They can't challenge a judgment.
Right.
That's his opinion. So
Yeah. Did he
And,
have
placement of the
possession?
ball.
Was he in bounds?
Yeah. Was it a fumble? Things like that.
Yeah.
Yes, they can challenge those. But
Yeah.
time. But yeah, they couldn't challenge that.
Well, it's behind us now. They'll do it again next year.
Yeah, we'll see.
And it's a whole new. There'll be a draft, and the whole thing changes from there. All right, so you jetted out of LAX and find yourself in North Carolina.
At the Christian Product Expo, it's always a good show. It's a retail show where all the bookstores across the nation who come, mostly are mom and pop stores, see what's coming out for the summer, and want to stock their books with good books that are coming out, the new releases. So that's what we're there to do, and we're helping. We helped. I did some signings. We all did some signings, but we also helped with the in-game press booth. Michelle and I, and Victoria and my wife was in there a lot and just kind of helping her out. And there were some others, but yeah, we were trying to move some product for her as well. And just a good time. You see a lot of old people that you've gotten to know over the years and some new ones. So it's always a good time to sit and meet new folks and talk to them. And then, got to hear Joe Gibbs this year speak. He has a nice, compelling story about, how he dealt with the death of his son. Mm-hmm. So he spoke. I think last year Darryl Strawberry spoke at it. So
right.
Joe Gibbs was one of the feature speakers at this one. So,
well, you had told us that it was, a little bit up in the air if you would be you would definitely be late, but you kind of had Michelle on standby to sign for you and her. Did you have to cash that chip in?
Yeah, I signed. I had the book sent to me, and I signed them all here from me, and then Nancy took them with her and Michelle.
Oh, okay.
She handled she handled it all by herself, and I'm pretty sure she probably did quite well.
Well, there's so many books coming out. I mean, how do you do all these book signings? And Michelle just had a book come out with Andy. She had a book come out with you. I mean, what is she doing? Table hopping? I mean, how's that work?
No, I don't know whether with her end. I'm not sure how she did that. I think, but the one that she has with Andy's a good-looking book as well. It launched yesterday. Ours launched just a couple of months ago. So we were this is just left. We just thought it would be a good opportunity. Like at the next show is in Lexington, Kentucky, in August. So my friend John and I are going to be doing our Kentucky book, even though it came out several months ago. We thought we're going to be in Lexington. Why not do the Kentucky book? Obviously it's right there, the home of the Kentucky Wildcats. So we'll be doing that book, and then hopefully that'll do well there. Pick up some vendors will pick it up.
So you were as much fun as all this was on the Super Bowl trip. Mm-hmm. You were working. So how much copy did you write?
Friday after the Bengals media day, went back to the hotel and wrote like a little preview. Did a little piece on Burrow and some of the things he said and how it resonated with people. So I did that one. And then I had done one prior to that before I left. And then I also did the game story. And I'll probably do a recap this weekend and as a column, just my observations and if people really care what I think. But, I'll put it out there. I think I have some good opinions on things. So, we did work. In fact, I wrote the story, the game story in LAX airport waiting on my flight to get there because I had some time. And my first objective was to get to the airport because it was just chaos. And it's only 3 miles away, but it took a little while to get there. So.
I've heard horror stories of just like parking, things like that you couldn't park within 3 miles and you'd pay $1,000. How did you manage to park?
We had the hotel had a media shuttle for us, so they dropped us off. We didn't have to worry about parking and paying the astronomical fees that we saw posted. No, we were dropped off at the gate and go in for free. So we didn't have to pay any of the parking or driving.
I guess the paradox about being treated the way you were, the hospitality and all that, is you were pretty much in a bubble with the media. So I was going to ask you about the culture, the fans, the interaction, but how in the world would you know?
Well, we saw a lot of fans. I mean, we see it out when we're out at the media center. Also, fans can go in. They can't go back to where the media is working, but they're all there. But there's the big shops and the NFL shops and where people are buying things and are walking around trying to get a glimpse of a player who shows up and things like that. So they're there. Ironically, I think I even posted it on Facebook a few times and on Twitter that we saw it was heavily Bengals favored. I mean, as far as the fans were, we saw a whole lot more Bengal fans in the stadium, outside of the stadium, because Los Angeles doesn't care. They really don't care. They have too many teams there. They didn't care about the Rams. They just didn't care. All right. So what's another team to that city, right? It really is. What's it? They have two or three NBA teams, 2 or 3 MLB teams, a couple of NFL teams. Oh yeah, they have some hockey teams. Oh yeah, the Rams are playing it. Oh okay.
Yeah.
They didn't care. They just wanted a reason to honk their horn and tear up the city. So that's all they cared about. I would say as an observer, as an objective observer, the stadium, inside the stadium, was about 70% Bengal fans.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that? And they had like 70,000 plus.
70,048 people
Yeah.
Officially there. So I would say the majority of them were orange and black.
Clearly. Now, the Bengals, were they wearing white?
Yeah, they wore black shirt.
So technically, they were the home team.
Technically, they were the home team. Yeah, they faced three straight away team. They went to Tennessee and beat them. They went to Kansas City and won. Then they go to L.A. to play the Rams on their home turf.
and L.A.'s the visiting team.
Yeah. And they didn't. Yeah, the fans could care less. The fans were just there to see what celebrities were there. They didn't care about the game.
So you said you went to some of the souvenir shops. What'd you buy?
Yeah, I bought my. Always gotta have to get a mug, right? Gotta get a Super Bowl mug.
So, and how much was that?
$75. It was like 19, something like that.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, bought some shirts for the kids.
Okay, so this is Super Bowl LVI. Was it? What is
56,
it? 56. LVI. Okay.
56. Yeah. So
why did they just put 56?
Because it looks cool with the Roman numerals.
It looks like they misspelled live and left, butchered it.
Yeah, I know. So, but it was fun. Overall, fun experience. It's always a fun experience. It's my second Super Bowl to go to, so it's I don't like Los Angeles at all. It was nice weather. It was hot, but
what
it was
about
beautiful.
90?
It was like 84, 85, and it was like one of the hottest Super Bowls on record. But inside, that place is nice and it was climate controlled. But it was also open on both ends. A very well crafted stadium. It's really looked like a spaceship.
What? Oh, by the way, what is SoFi?
That's just a company that sponsors it, I guess.
What do they make? I've never heard of them.
I don't know. Probably some technology. I don't know.
I mean, do you know how much money they must have spent to get that name? and I have yet to meet anybody that knows what SoFi is.
I don't know. I'll research it. That's a good question. But SoFi, I don't know what it is. It's not like Soho or something like that. So I don't know.
Yeah,
SoFi. I don't know.
I wonder how much they spent on that because it's not working.
It'll make me look it up. So I don't know what it means, but I'll look it up after the show's over. Let everybody else can do that. But no, LA's a different kind of town, different kind of world out there. I call it the third world. Got up my hotel on Friday morning, looked out and saw, and I'm in downtown LA. I'm in I'm in Little Tokyo, just below Los Angeles. Still Los Angeles, but just on the south side. So about 60, 70 tents outside my window, everywhere. Third world. And drive by and you see they're all under the underpasses with their tents, with their motorcycles chained up to a fence. They got their cell phones, but yeah, incredible.
I haven't been there in a long time, but I'm like you. I went, I saw. I don't have a compulsion.
I think you read my conversation with the guy who works for the mayor's office. I think so.
I know that was kind of neat. That was kind of neat.
That happened. And he was a nice guy to talk to. He was really nice, and I didn't know. And again, I don't offer information unless I'm asked. I just didn't tell him. He asked me, "Would you ever want to move here?" No. Why not? Okay, you asked me. I'm gonna tell you. And I told him, and I tried to get that about as close as it got. I mean, I said I would never live under any type of a regime.
Yeah.
And then he said, "What do you mean?"
What do you mean?
He was
sincere. Sincere.
He said, really? So what do you mean by regime? He said it just like that, and so I told him. And then find out he works for the mayor's office. So, the mayor who was caught 2 weeks ago with his mask off, taking a picture, and he said he held his breath. So it was okay. That's why I said, so you're going to hold your breath.
It's like Bill Clinton. He didn't inhale.
So, and if you notice in that picture, he didn't have a mask with him. He's a director in the mayor's office, maskless. But, and you know what? I was never checked at all when I went into that stadium.
Well, they did
never
require
anybody.
your V card. What did you do? Show them your concealed
They didn't
carry?
ask me. They didn't ask. Hey, I could have walked in there with several guns packed in my. Nobody checked us. Nobody checked us or anything. That we had to scan our credential and go. That's it. They didn't do our forehead. They didn't do anything. Didn't have to show anything. No.
Yeah. Well,
And nobody wore a mask.
Dale, you kind of got your hair cut for this, didn't you? You didn't cut it yourself.
I had to. It's so hot out there.
You didn't do it yourself.
No, but so nobody showed us. Nobody asked us questions. The only place I was questioned was in that restaurant for to eat breakfast.
There you go.
And I said, "You're serious, really?"
Mm.
You know.
All right, we're coming down the home stretch.
Yep.
Sports Shorts is up there. It would be wrong not to give you a little time to plug your book.
Yeah, well, thank you. We're having a lot of fun with this first children's book. Getting a lot of good reception so far out there at the show. The cover has baseball, but it's baseball and football players. 52 chapters. It's for 8, 9, 10-year-olds that time that era, that age group, and get a lot of good feedback on it. Doesn't come out to March 22nd, but we're excited about it.
I think not only is the content good for that age group, as a ministry, but this is just marketing genius. You already really had the material.
Yes, yeah. Interviews.
You just rewrote it in the context of an 8 or 9, 10-year-old reader. So I think that's a great way to expand the reach of not only your book sales and all that, but the ministry, the message.
Yeah, we're going to a different audience, and I had a person reach out to me on LinkedIn who is with a smaller college, and they wanted to talk to one of the publishers about buying in bulk. So I'm like, all right,
okay,
so that's nice. We've had some schools do that if they bought it for each player. Yeah, so that's really nice and cool.
That helps. That all helps.
Yeah, they pass it out to the teammates. So we're excited about that. March 22nd. The pre-sales are doing, I hope, what we understand pretty well. But it's obviously coming out for spring training is just around the corner, and the NFL season just ended. So it's a good time for that. We're wrapping up our Florida State books. Those will probably come out in November. We're looking forward to that too. Right in the middle of the season.
You've developed this formula, and it's worked out so well for you. Do you feel like you've done it to the point that maybe you feel like you've picked the low fruit, and how do you move forward? How do you perpetuate that model?
I'll give an old sports cliche. Just do it one book at a time.
Well, it's really one interview at a time.
Yeah, they all say one play at a time. Next play. The most important play is the next play. So that's a cliche. So I just did one of those. So one book at a time.
Well, and you've been doing this long enough now. There's a whole new entry of people, of athletes coming into prominence or into the competitive market.
Yeah, they're tougher to get to right now because of all the restrictions. We're hoping those are lifted next year. I mean, I can do the Zoom thing. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, if I have to, I can adjust to that. But we're hoping that we'll be able to have better access next season. We don't know that yet. It's just going to be an NFL decision.
Well, I
like
if anybody
like
can
all the
do
Super
it,
Bowl interviews. Yeah. All the Super Bowl interviews were virtual. They were even after the game. They were Zoom.
Really?
There was no live in-person interviews. No.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's strange because in that case, why did they send you out there? That cost a lot of money.
As a free ticket. I mean, as a free pass.
I mean,
Why
I'd take it. Yeah, but
I mean, I had the links and all the approval to sit here in my office and tune into the interviews. But something special about going there to the game.
Well, for you,
the atmosphere.
But I'm thinking for who wrote the check. That's a lot of money.
Well, there was a lot of, hundreds and hundreds of. I think there was 2,200 media somewhere around that area. And the Bengals typically, when we're there, there's about the core group of guys and gals that cover just the Bengals are probably 35 to 40 ish, somewhere around there.
Right.
And that, and so when they go to is a bigger like Green Bay, when Green Bay came into town, there's a little bit more there because
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay brings it, or Pittsburgh. So they're used to seeing about 60 to 70 media
Mm-hmm.
around, give or take 10.
Mm-hmm.
So when we go to Bengals Media Day and there's like 370, and most of them have that's their first time to see the Bengals or see the Rams. They don't know what's going on. And they ask some of the dumbest questions.
Right.
Because the questions that they've already addressed all season long.
Yeah.
And they're there to be seen. And that's what I think I'm going to write about is the commercials, right? You talk about the commercials. You talk about the halftime show. You talk about the ticket prices. We talk about the crowd and all this other stuff. We never talk about the game. The game's not even secondary. The game is a forgotten about. It's everything else has taken over the Super Bowl, where it used to be about a football game.
Yeah.
Now it's all about the commercials and the halftime shows and seeing the celebrities. I don't care. That's what it's about anymore. It's not about the Bengals did play. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was a football game.
It was a football game. Forgot about that.
Yeah. And LA won. And well, I gotta hand it to the people you work with as well as you. You have been there. You and the people you were affiliated with have been there covering the Bengals when they couldn't get a first down, year after year after year.
Yeah.
They were three and out. So, but then now that they go to the playoffs and ultimately the Super Bowl, here comes these Johnny-come-lately press corps that wants to give them a bunch of coverage. It's like, well, where were you when we needed you? We don't need you now, thank you.
So I get it, but that's what we kind of took it as a treat. We'd been there the last 4 or 5 years during those bleak years, and you think, hey, now it's hey, we get to go to the Super Bowl now. So it's
a nice bonus.
So it's fun. Yeah. It is, and hopefully, I don't know. You never know if it'll ever get back. So we went because the people thought the same thing about Dan Marino. His second year in the NFL, goes to the Super Bowl and loses. They keep he'll have plenty of chances. Never made it back.
He never made a Super Bowl.
Never made it back to the Super Bowl.
He never won.
Second year, never won it. He played in the one and lost. Never made it back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he was one of the greatest ever. So people say, "Oh, he'll have plenty of chances." Then you never know that. You don't know that. You hope so.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and follow those 17th round picks in the draft. Those are the ones. That's when you're getting down to the talent, not the agents and the hype and the influence. Because Bart Starr was a 17th round pick.
Yeah.
Well,
Brett Favre was a 6th round pick.
Yeah, Brett Favre was way down the list. I mean, he almost did. All right. Well, Dylan, I'm glad that you were able to.
Kurt Warner was not. He was way down there. He had to go to the USL. He had to go to Canada to play. And then, there's this guy up in Canada. Why don't we bring him in? He
had one of the highest percentage of completed passes. But it was to the wrong team.
Yeah.
He was throwing it wild. I mean,
he's the only guy to be in 2 Hall of Fame. So he's in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame and the National Football Hall of Fame.
They'd have to tap him. Say we're wearing the blue shirts. Throw to us.
Got a couple of them rings though. So hey, appreciate everybody being out there. Thank you. We had a good time, and we're all rested up now.
Dale, we're honored to have you. We'll see you again next month, and I'm sure you'll have a story for us. All right. Thank you, bud. Dale Didway sharing with us his experiences being there in person at the Super Bowl, and we get to hear it here. What a great guy. And Dale has been faithfully joining us here on PJNet since it started, pretty much. He was the tip of the spear. And good to see all the folks in the chat room at pjnet.tv. If you're watching this on social media, I hope that you will take the opportunity to come visit a bunch of new friends who want to friend you on Facebook and follow you on Twitter. In our chat room, you can watch the same program there. And we'll be back tomorrow night, as always. And if you'll go to pjnet.tv, there's a schedule there. And you will see what's going on. And thanks to Barbara, our producer, who maintains that schedule and for the most part recruits people to appear on our program more so than anybody else. And I'm going to sign it off. Before I do, I'm going to ask a question. Many of you have heard these two questions, but they're always pertinent. What is the boldest thing that you've ever done for Jesus Christ? And the follow-up, when was that? The challenge is to not be satisfied with either answer.